The PlayStation 5 is now less than a year away from being released, and with the PS5 dev kits out in the wild, developers are hard at work creating games for the new console. Today we're going to take a look at all the confirmed and even rumored games coming to the PS5 in 2020 and beyond. Here we go, back at it yet again with another video, and in today's video we are going to take a look at all the upcoming rumored and confirmed games of the PlayStation 5's release. And if you are excited for all these brand new PlayStation 5 games and you end up enjoying today's video, make sure you smack that like button real good. And now, let's dive into all the games that we do have at hand. This list is in no particular order, but we are taking a look at Final Fantasy VII, the remake from Square Enix first. So this game has been announced for the PlayStation 4, but is also in development for the PlayStation 5. Square Enix has already admitted that they are working on the Final Fantasy VII remake that will release on the PlayStation 5. The boss of the Japanese publisher, Yosuke Matsuda, revealed that the anticipated RPG is being developed for both generations of PlayStation hardware. It all actually makes sense if you consider the story is being split into chapters, and that the PlayStation 4 will be a bit long in the tooth by the time that the second installment of the chapter arrives. So yeah, Final Fantasy VII is going to be a cross-generational game, which is pretty awesome. We'll have it on the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 4 Pro, and then the PlayStation 5 next year. Next up on our PlayStation 5 list of games is a Dying Light 2. So this game has been announced for the PlayStation 5 and also the PlayStation 4, similar to the last game we just talked about. This is probably one of the first games that was announced for the PlayStation 5 as a PS5 game. Dying Light 2 is coming from the developer known as Techland, and they have confirmed it is a cross-generational title. If you don't already know much about this game, it's an open-world zombie survival game, and it's going to be, as I said, on both generations of the PlayStation console. So that right there is awesome, awesome stuff. I really enjoyed the first Dying Light game, and to see Dying Light 2 in all its glory on the next gen is going to be a real nice treat. Next up is something that a lot of people have been questioning because, well, it's just a rumor at this stage in time. This game isn't confirmed, it hasn't been announced, but it is heavily rumored, and it is the new Demon Souls game. It's going to be either a complete remake or a remaster. Bluepoint Games, who are the developer behind Demon Souls, have been heavily rumored to be working on a remake or remaster of this title. And well, with the PlayStation 5 coming out very soon in less than a year, we probably will end up seeing this as a next-gen platform title. And on top of that, one of the developers from the development team has actually stated that they are working on a big game for the PS5. And that right there pretty much settles it, because everyone wants Demon Souls, they're going to make Demon Souls, and everyone's going to be happy on the PlayStation 5. Next up is a game that has actually been announced for the PS5 and also the PS4. It seems to be a running theme in this video, but it is Gods and Monsters. Ubisoft has announced this game for the PS5 and the PS4, as I just stated, and it looks like a really fun game. Now, this game was originally scheduled for release at the start of 2019, but it never hit. It just kept getting delays, and more delays. Ubisoft has confirmed that now, because of all these delays, this game will be coming to both the PS4 and the PS5. Moving on to a very highly anticipated game, and that is Diablo 4. Now, this game has been announced for the PlayStation 4, but it probably won't make that release because, well, it looks like it might not even come out in 2020. We will get it if we're lucky, but 2021 looks more realistic for Diablo 4, so it will most likely be out on the PS5 also. The most possible release dates right now for this game are at launch on the PlayStation 5, which will be holiday 2020, or around March 2021 at the latest, which would make it a cross-gen game in both 2021 and also the 2020 release date on the PlayStation 4 if it does go that way. Next up is a game that will not be out in 2020, but rather 2021, and it is Lord of the Rings GOLLUM. Now, we don't know too much about this game, but it's coming out in 2021, so it's going to be a PS5 title by the looks of things. From the looks of things, things and what we've been told so far, it looks to be a narrative-driven action-adventure game from DIABLO Entertainment. And well, the developers have stated that Lord of the Rings Gollum will launch on all relevant platforms in 2021. So that basically means we will see it on the PlayStation 5, probably the PC also, and then the next Xbox on top of that. But probably not my channel because they stated all relevant platforms and I'm irrelevant, so terrible joke. But let's move on to Ghost of Tsushima. So this game was originally announced for the PS4, but due to delays and the development time, just the development progress in general, we most likely won't even get to see it on the PlayStation 4, even though the PS4 Pro would have no issues loading this game at full glory. At this very time, we still don't know where its release window will end up being. It's still up for debate, but it looks like it's most likely going to be a 2021 release unless we get really lucky at E3 or something even before that at an event where they tell us it's coming out in 2020 on both the PS4 and eventually on the PS5. But at this point in time, it looks like we are going to get it as a PS5 game in 2021 due to all these delays, and then probably even more delays for them to port it over and make it a next-gen release instead. But anyway, we move on to our next game on the list, and this is Rainbow Six Quarantine. This game has been announced for both the PlayStation 5 and the PS4, so it is officially a PS5 title 100%. This adds to a growing list of Ubisoft games that have been delayed and rescheduled and getting re-releases and whatnot to the PS5. And well, this is just one of them. One of very many games, it seems like. And if you are wondering what kind of game Rainbow Six Quarantine will be, well, it seems to be a tactical co-op spin-off of Rainbow Six Siege. So if you've been playing a bunch of that competitive shooter known as Rainbow Six Siege and you're pretty good at it, you're probably going to have a really good time playing this. And especially since it is a co-op game, you'll have a great time with your mates playing this, and it should be a fun experience. Also, just a side note for Rainbow Six Quarantine, it is stated that it will complement the competitive shooter, Rainbow Six Siege, so that's pretty cool right there. Now, something else that is pretty cool is the next God of War game. Now, it may not be God of War 2, but we're just going to call it God of War 2 for the sake of this video. So, yeah, God of War 2 is currently unannounced, but it seems like it's going to be inevitable because, well, the success of the first one, well, the first recent one, I should say, because they kind of reset the whole thing on that series, but the success of that might bring another one of these. So that's really exciting stuff right there. Now, what we do know about God of War is that its development team, Sony Santa Monica Studios, is working on its next project. Now, we don't know exactly what that is, but due to the success of God of War on the PS4, yeah, it's probably going to be another God of War game. So we'll most likely see that come out in 2021 at the earliest because, well, we probably won't see that anytime sooner unless it is somehow a launch title as one of the big releases for the PlayStation 5 when it does come out in a year from now. Moving on, and next up on our list is a game from Guerrilla Games. We don't know exactly what this will be. We've just been told that they are working on a PlayStation 5 title. That's all we've been told by the studio. It is 100% confirmed that Guerrilla Games are working on a new game for the PlayStation 5. Most guesses point to this game being a launch title, and well, Guerrilla Games have actually done launch titles before for certain systems, so they most likely will bring out the best possible performance, graphics, and all that good stuff for a game to show off the power of the PlayStation 5. So we are getting a PlayStation 5 game. We don't know if it's going to be Horizon Zero Dawn, if it's a new multiplayer game, or anything along those lines. What we do know, though, is that the development team recently hired the director of Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege to work on an online-focused game. So potentially, we could see something similar to Rainbow Six Siege, and then we see it with the team that is behind all the Guerrilla Games titles, which is going to be awesome, especially since it's going to be on the PlayStation 5. Now, moving over to an exclusive game, and it's something I feel like everybody's been waiting way too long for, and that's The Last of Us Part 2. We all loved the first game, and well, it looks like we just keep on getting more and more delays, and it might not even end up on the PlayStation 4. sure. But if it does, it's going to be a cross-generational, cross-platform type game. It just seems to be getting more and more delays, and it's probably a tactical thing by Sony. They may release it earlier next year or something like that and surprise us with the PlayStation 4 version of the game, and then eventually give us a big updated version of the game, like a Game of the Year version with better graphics and better performance on the PlayStation 5 in 2021 or late 2020 as a big release at when the PlayStation 5 does launch. But anyway, we have to move on from that, even though I do love The Last of Us, and to a sports game. It's NBA Live 21. This game has been announced for the PlayStation 5 and seems like the PlayStation 5 only. EA haven't really said too much about this, but if you do look back at the history of the NBA Live franchise of the past, I'd say even decade, it has been very, very patchy. They release some games, they cancel some, they don't do much with anything, and then they just kind of disappear for a while. So the development team that do make the NBA Live games, I'm not even going to get my hopes up that this game even makes the shelves on stores or even the online stores. But it would be pretty cool to have a competing big basketball game out there besides NBA 2K, because competition is key. You can't just have the one company out there producing the same thing every single year. They need competition to stay. Now, on top of that, this most likely also goes for FIFA and NBA 2K and all other sports games out there. We're most likely going to see those games drop around that September period on current gen, and then we will see next gen versions for the next Xbox and the PlayStation 5 in holiday 2020 as release titles that you could pre-order alongside your new console. This is exactly what happened with the last generation of sports games when the new gen consoles came out, or I should say current gen, but they were new at the time. So just make sure to expect the expected, because, well, sports games are always launch titles on new systems. But moving on, we move on to Spider-Man 2. So if you played the original Spider-Man that came out on the PlayStation 4 about a year or two ago, man, time flies. I've even lost track of time when that game came out. I think it was just over a year ago. But Spider-Man was a huge, huge success for Sony. It was an exclusive title, and well, it looks like that the team might be working on a Spider-Man 2. Now, this is just rumored. We don't know the status of the game. It's not been announced or anything like that, but it looks like, just if you look at the numbers, the raw numbers of the sales and the success of the game, it would be stupid for Sony not to bring out another Spider-Man game down the line. This will most likely be a couple of years after the PlayStation 5 is out, or if we are lucky, we might get it even sooner than that. But as I stated, this one is just a very, very big rumor. Something that isn't a rumor though is our next game on the list, and that is Overwatch 2. So this game has been announced for the PS4 and a bunch of other systems as it would, but it has no release window. A PlayStation 5 version does seem very likely for this because, well, they don't have a release window, as I said, and Overwatch 2 is in development currently for the PlayStation 4, but we most likely won't see it launch before the PS5 even hits the market. So you can most likely note this one down as a cross-gen game for both the PS4 and the PS5, along with pretty much everything else out there like PCs and Xboxes. Now, another game that has been announced but hasn't actually had any platforms confirmed for the title is Sniper Elite 5. It's our next game on this list. So if you do think about it, it's most likely going to be the next Xbox, PC, and the PlayStation 5, because they haven't announced any platforms and they are taking their time with the development of Sniper Elite 5, so we most likely will see this in development over the next year and then released maybe in 2021 rather than as a launch title for the next generation of consoles. On top of that, rumors are spreading that Sniper Elite 5 will be shown off even more. We will get more stuff at E3 in 2020, but it's highly unlikely that we will see it release in 2020. Most likely 2021. Moving on to another game that had no specific platforms announced for it, and it is Starfield. It's a game coming from Bethesda. Now, Starfield will supposedly mark the developer's first step into galactic sci-fi territory, which is really cool for Bethesda. I can't wait to see how they go about this and how they challenge the open universe. At E3 2018, Bethesda did strongly hint that Starfield will be targeting the next-gen hardware, so we'll most likely see this just as a PS5 and next Xbox and PC title, rather than getting it on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, because, well, yeah, it looks like they are just going towards that route. But then again, you have to think about Bethesda, and they love re-releasing games on multiple platforms. Look at Skyrim, and they might end up just giving it even on your fridge. Anyway, speaking of the fridge, I am kind of thirsty. I might go get a refreshment because we are moving to our final game on the list, and it is Watch Dogs Legion. So this will be the brand new next installment in the Watch Dogs franchise. And the status of this game is that it's coming out on the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 4. So it will be a cross-gen game, and it's just like many other games on this list. It's going to be, as I said, on the PS4 and PS5, and it's going to be coming out apparently in sometime 2020. We don't know exactly, and there seem to be a few delays here and there, but that's going to be for the PlayStation 4 in 2020, that is. But then Ubisoft confirmed that the PS5 version is also in the works, and that's going to be most likely out in 2021. So we can confirm that Watch Dogs Legion is on PlayStation 5, which is awesome news. And well, that does it for our video today of the confirmed and rumored games that are coming to the PlayStation 5. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this kind of video. I thought I'd do something a little bit different today because I've been doing a lot of news. I thought I'd just make a list of really cool games that I'm looking forward to, that you guys are probably looking forward to, and it's just been a bunch of fun looking and searching for all these games. If you guys do want to get more videos and you aren't subscribed, make sure you click that subscribe button, and also you make sure that you click that notification bell if you are already subscribed, if you're a new subscriber, so you know when my videos are out, you'll get notified. But if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you smack that like button, or I should say, yeah, we got a like button right here. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.